we are being taught how to take care of our bodies and making sure that we are maximizing the time that God has given us to do the right things so that we can continue to minister for Him. Amen. Um, we were learning how to eat right, the importance of exercising. Also, and I would add the importance of sleep. It is so important to go to sleep. As someone who does not sleep, that is me. But it is so important to get rest. And that's something that I am continually to work on, trying to make sure that, you wind yourself down to at least rest. I mean, some people, they can, live off a couple hours sleep, and they just go. But then sometime during the day, that crash hit, that 11, 12, 1 o'clock fatigue hit, and it's real. That's right. So we just got to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Um, so when we were
A lot of times, you don't get as much sleep. You know what I'm saying? Um, Supposed to get at least, they say, 8 to 10 hours. That's far fetched for me personally, but I had to teach myself that I need sleep because it takes a toll over your body after a while. Like I said, your body flushes out toxins while you're sleeping. There's things that get flushed out of your system. That's why a lot of times when people wake up, you got to go to the restroom and stuff like that because while you were sleeping, your body is draining fluids off. Your kidneys are getting rid of stuff that what I'm saying, toxins that you have in your body naturally. And when you don't sleep, you know, um, your body doesn't know to do those things. So what I'm saying? It's like a trigger. Once you go to sleep, your body knows to start working and start doing those things. And these were things that I was taught, going through weight loss classes and stuff like that. How important sleep is because there's functions that your body does not perform while you're awake. So when you deprive yourself of sleep, you know you're depriving yourself of those functions. You know what I'm saying? That you need to keep yourself going. Um, and honestly, like they teach you, you get to a point where your body knows it needs to go to sleep. So that's why it will force you to go to sleep. You get to a point where you just get tired and you can't stay awake no more. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no choice. And that's your body telling you, I need rest. I need to shut down. I need to go to sleep. There's things that I need to get done. You know what I'm saying? So it forces you to go to sleep. Your body forces you to go to sleep. So that's what we have to remember, that there's things that go on inside of us that we don't realize that, we need, what I'm saying, sleep to do and stuff like that, and the importance of rest and getting good rest and stuff like that. And the importance of, they teach you when you go through those classes of what you're eating and what you're drinking before you go to sleep. You're supposed to cut off at a certain time. I think it's like 2 hours before you go to sleep, cut off eating and drinking. You know what I'm saying? One, the reason why you cut off eating is because it gives your body a chance to digest the food that's in it. You know what I'm saying? And what we don't realize is once we go to sleep, our digestive system starts to slow down. It stops working. So, what I'm saying? If you got all that food that you've ate before you went to sleep and it hadn't got a chance to digest properly, it's just going to sit there, what I'm saying, until you wake up and stuff like that. And even drinking, when you drink something like 2 hours before you go to bed or whatever, your kidneys don't get a chance to flush those things out. So it's going to interrupt your sleep. You know what I'm saying? Your body's going to wake you up. Your kidneys are still flushing that stuff through. So once this gets through and it flushes everything out, and okay, now you gotta relieve yourself. So it's going to wake you up in the middle of the night, and it's going to make you, hey, I got to go to the restroom. Or if you don't wake up, you're going to wake up and you're going to be done, went to the restroom in your bed, what I'm saying, stuff like that. So we just got to remember and be mindful. And like I said, there's a lot of things that I didn't know until I started taking the weight loss classes and started getting educated on the importance of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you just get used to just going and going and going, and you're not thinking about, what you're depriving your body of when you don't get enough rest. Or, you don't think about, I never thought about, okay, I've heard, oh, well, you shouldn't eat right before you go to bed. I didn't necessarily know why. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that, okay, my digestive system just stops working. You know what I'm saying? Well, it slows down. Thank you. It slows down, and my body doesn't properly digest all my food that I've taken in and stuff like that. So, like I said, we just got to be mindful of those things, and be mindful too of like if you got, because I know I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. So if you have things like that, just be mindful of it. We don't think about those things when we're sleeping. I always thought just snoring is just something that your body just does naturally. But it's not true, you know what I'm saying? If there's something going on, if you're snoring and you're doing things like that, there's a reason for it. And just make sure that we're getting treatment for those things, you know what I'm saying? Like sleep apnea and stuff like that. Now it used to be they just throw you on a CPAP machine, but now that's not true. There's other things they can do to help you. There's mouth guards, there's things like that, because they realize people don't want this. I don't want this big machine and stuff on my face. And I'll be honest with you, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to sleep with this mask and stuff like that. But there's other things now. I've known people that had surgery to where they literally have a button, and right before they go to sleep, they push this thing, and there's something inside of it, and I do believe it's in your neck or somewhere. I forget where they put it at. But it helps you breathe while you're sleeping and stuff like that. I've heard other people that use mouth guards and stuff like that to help and stuff like that. But just be mindful of stuff like that, because that can affect the quality of your sleep, And then too, what we don't realize when we're sleeping and stuff like that, and if you have stuff like that, like sleep apnea, okay, so say your body stops breathing. Your body stops breathing, your mind knows that, okay, I'm not breathing, we need to start breathing again. It will do things to make you wake up, like making you go to the restroom. That is one thing that it'll make you, your body will make you have to wake up. Hey, wake up, you know what I'm saying, because something ain't right. So your body makes itself wake up if something's going on like that. Hey, you stop breathing. So, and it can affect the quality of your sleep, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest, I noticed that, I did. Before I started, if you're a truck driver and they find out you have sleep apnea, they put you on a CPAP machine so they can make sure that you're using it and stuff like that. So, but I noticed once I started using it, I stopped going to the restroom less and less in the middle of the night. Before I was on the CPAP machine, I'd wake up 4, maybe 5 times, 3, 4 times throughout the night. I woke up a lot and went to the restroom. But that was my body telling me, hey, you're not breathing. It's my body's waking me up so I can start breathing again. But once I started using the machine, I noticed it's tied back to if I drink something too early right before I go to sleep, I'll wake up. A lot of times I may wake up once, may not wake up at all to go to the restroom and stuff like that. But we just got to be mindful of things like that. That things that go on while we sleep. So the importance of getting good rest.
I can add one thing. So there's lymphatic drainage that takes place from your organs. It basically dumps all the toxins from your individual organs into your lymph node system. And then it also, you have a brain wash that occurs while you're sleeping. So that helps get rid of the buildup. Your brain literally washes itself when you're resting. Fluid, cerebrospinal fluid. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it helps get rid of the buildup of protein. So people that suffer from like Alzheimer's dementia, there's usually a reduction in sleep for years before that happens. And there's a correlation, not causality, there's a correlation between that and not having a brainwashing occur. So you have to end up with a greater buildup than you would of those proteins if you were able to rest.
What?
I'm gonna go to bed earlier too.
Oh, Jesus, 11:30. Thank you. I didn't, what? I didn't know that. That's kind of scary. And then I was thinking if you, I was,
It's not that people who are healthy take vitamins. The vitamins aren't making you healthy. It's people that take vitamins are making an effort to be healthy. So they're probably doing other things. So it's not just, oh, they went to sleep so they didn't get dementia. There's a whole list of things that go into adjusting your lifestyle to be healthier that reduce your risk. And sleep is just one of those components. I don't want to isolate sleep as the only thing.
thinking about what you said about the brain. And I was watching something on, I don't know if it was TV, YouTube, whatever these little ads are. It was talking about the importance of sleeping and dreaming and how important it is for like you to get into the REM state of sleep. Because even dreaming, you're able to work out things sometimes in your dreams, right? That all attributes to your health, mental health, whatever it is. But I thought to myself, I didn't really think about, I mean, like if you go to sleep, you just have a dream, right? And a lot of times God shows me things in dreams. So I know that I have to go to sleep because I don't know what I'm going to wake up and he's ministered to me or he told me or he let me know something's going to happen. But I realized that, you know, getting into that realm sleep, you can work certain things out that maybe in your subconscious that, you know, it just surfaces. In your conscious, I guess, in your conscious state, maybe unconscious state when you're asleep, I don't know. But it's just working those matters out. And then I realized that there was a lady at work, and I didn't think it was true, right? So I went to work one day, and the lady was talking about this. And she was talking about being menopausal and having all those issues, can't sleep, hot flashes, all that stuff. And she was like, the doctor gave her some medicine, and she finally was able to rest. And she was like, I was coming to work every day. I was being irritable. I was doing this. She didn't realize it was because she wasn't getting into the realm state of sleep. And once she started to hit that after she took her medicine, she's like, I came here, I'm so refreshed, and my brain is not as foggy. And I was like, okay, so then it kind of supported the evidence from the medical whatever that I saw. I'm like, you really do have to get sleep because it really does, like you were saying, your brain washes itself out or you're able to work through issues that are in your subconscious. And I don't even know, like, I don't know how you figure it out. I don't know if you come to a resolution or whatever. But that was just my thought.
I was gonna hit the regulation. So when you're able to get rest, your body's able to regulate better when you're awake. When you're able to regulate better, you're able to make better food choices. You're not in a starved state all the time because your body is dysregulated. So it's not an emotional response to food. You're able to cognitively have your prefrontal cortex relaxed more often, so you're less likely to give an emotional response. You're more likely to make better financial decisions, better health decisions, just better life decisions in general when you get better sleep. And this is a secret that people have known for years. Because if you look at your top athletes, if you look at your top performers, you look at Warren Buffett, you know, you look at Elon Musk, you look at Jeff Bezos, not that it, again, it's not a one-to-one, it's not causality, it's correlation. But one of the things that all of these high-performing people say that they do is they get their full night of rest. So, I mean, if it works for top athletes and it works for the top in business, there's probably something more to it that us laymen should be doing. And then the Bible also says to sleep.
to sleep early helps us to honor God. Why? Because our minds are clear and we can make those Christ decisions, or at least help us to aid in making better decisions and keep you out of trouble. Amen. Nothing good. Exactly. So we were just talking about the benefits of being healthy, making sure that we are putting the right food and drinks in our body to make sure that they are working properly. We talked about the importance of sleep and not forsaking sleep. We talked about how your body has important functions that it can only perform when you are sleeping. So everything that we do to take care of this temple that he gives us, remember, you are only assigned one temple. So we have to do what we can to be diligent and take our vitamins, drink your water, exercise, right? Even if you can't exercise, I'm a fan. Look, I'll do the couch exercises all day. And then my people in my house know I have a whole routine. Anything to increase mobility. These are things that we do to help honor God. Amen?
The smallest thing in the world, and you probably don't even think about it, but a person's balance, like the ability to balance on one foot, they say is the biggest indicator of when they will die. Yep. When you lose your balance, you're close to death. For real. Because you're dealing with neurological function, you're talking about things must be shifting, breaking down in your motor neurons. You're probably losing sensitivity in your nerve endings. You're probably dealing with poor heart circulation and neuropathy and not being able to feel things. So you're talking about being able to detect a full system shutdown by something as simple as, can you balance on one foot for 10 seconds? And that, I mean, that's in literature. You can go to NCBI and read it for yourself. But it's the biggest indicator. Think about it. If you got a bad heart condition, if you got a bad kidney condition, a bad liver condition, you're off kilter. Your body's off kilter. So it's an indicator of what's going on in the rest of your body. So when your balance is off, it's because your body is off. So everybody go home and stand on one foot.